You could spend 3 months getting your home ready to sell. New paint, fresh landscaping, professional photos, the works. And then your agent picks up the phone, has a 2-minute conversation with the buyer's agent, and hands them a discount you never agreed to. That's the threat most sellers never see coming. Not the inspection, not the market, their own agent's mouth. Every question a buyer's agent asks is a test. They're not making small talk. They're looking for the crack in the wall, the detail that tells them exactly how hard they can push. And if your agent doesn't know how to answer, you're the one who pays for it. I'm Vallario. I've been selling real estate in Maryland for over 21 years. And the reason I've stayed successful isn't luck. It's because I work with buyers and sellers every single day. And when you do that long enough, you start seeing the same patterns play out over and over. You understand fear. You understand urgency. You understand leverage. And most importantly, you understand how people perceive value. When you understand all of that, you can position and negotiate with real precision, not guesswork. That's exactly what I'm going to show you today. I'm walking you through the 4 most dangerous questions buyer agents ask, what the wrong answer sounds like, and exactly how a smart agent handles each one, including one question about commissions that most sellers have never even thought about, and it's costing them thousands. Let's start with the most dangerous question in the entire process. It sounds completely harmless. Buyer's agents call, they're friendly, they're conversational, and it's going great. And then they ask, so why are the sellers moving? That question is not small talk. It's the first move in the negotiation, and it happens before the buyer has written a single word of an offer. Here's why it matters so much. Any personal reason your agent gives becomes leverage. Think about the answers that could come out of a typical agent's mouth. Oh, they're relocating for work. Now, the buyer knows that there's a deadline. They already bought their next home. Now, the buyer knows you're carrying 2 properties and you need this one gone. They need to be out by the end of the month. Congratulations! The buyer just found out your breaking point before they even wrote an offer. Each one of these answers signals the same thing to a buyer. Desperation. And desperation invites a lowball offer every single time. The right answer gives them nothing. Your agent should sound warm, confident, and completely vague. Something like, the sellers have decided it's time for a change. Or, their plans are still coming together, and they're really just focused on finding the right agent for this home right now. Polite, friendly, zero ammunition. The buyer walks away with no clock to run against you, no mortgage pressure to exploit, nothing. That's exactly where you want them. Now, right alongside the motivation question, there's another one that does just as much damage. And it usually sounds like this. How flexible are they on price? Or the more aggressive version, how low will they go? This is a buyer fishing for your breaking point before they commit to anything on paper. They want to know your floor so they can build their starting offer just above it. And if your agent answers this directly, they've already started negotiating against you. The costly answers are the ones you think sound reasonable. They're open to offers. There might be some flexibility, or they'd probably come down a little, or even worse, throwing a range like they're okay with something between X and Y. That's a problem. The moment a number enters the conversation, the buyer's starting point drops to match it. Your agent just set the ceiling on your sale price. A strong agent redirects the entire conversation back to the value of the home. Something like, this home is priced competitively for its condition and location. The sellers are really looking for a strong, well-structured offer. That answer does 2 things. It reinforces that the price is grounded in the market, not your personal urgency. And it puts the pressure back on the buyer to come in strong. Here's another one that comes up once a home has been sitting for a few weeks. Why has it been on the market so long? Sounds innocent, but it's not. What they're really asking is, what's wrong with the house and how much leverage do we have? So when a seller's agent starts over-explaining, they are giving away negotiating leverage for absolutely no reason. And even worse, I have seen listing agents put this nonsense right into the agent remarks. Seller is motivated, bring all offers, or seller will entertain all offers. That is terrible representation. You are not marketing the home at that point. You are advertising weakness. You are telling every buyer and every buyer agent that the seller is soft, the price is negotiable, and they should come in low and start pushing. A strong response is, listen, every home has its own timing in the market, but the sellers are focused on a strong offer, not just any offer. That's it. No more. That's it. Both of these questions, motivation and price flexibility, are really asking the same thing. How badly do you need to sell? Your agent's job is to make sure that question never gets answered. Now let's talk about two questions that hit your wallet just as hard. And one of them, most sellers have genuinely never thought about. Since the National Association of Realtors settlement, buyer's agents are now required to have a written compensation agreement with their client before they can even show a home. So the question comes up on almost every single listing. Is your seller offering buyer agent commission? And here's where a lot of agents mess this up. Even though it can't be advertised in the MLS, they still get the seller to agree upfront to buyer agent compensation in their listing agreement. And then they start offering it too easily when agents call. It sounds cooperative, it sounds helpful, but it weakens the seller's leverage before there's even an offer in hand. When you commit to a number upfront, that number becomes a floor, not a ceiling. The buyer agent locks in that number mentally before they've even written a number on an offer. You've already reduced your net before you've even seen the price, the terms, or the timeline. My strategy is different. I don't advertise compensation up front. What I do tell buyer agents is that it's absolutely open for discussions, but it depends entirely on the strength of the offer, the price, the terms, the contingencies, the overall net to my seller. A clean full price offer with solid terms earns a very different conversation than a lowball offer with a laundry list of demands attached. What that does is flip the dynamic completely. Now, the buyer agent has to bring their best offer just to start the conversation about compensation. You've tied their commission to performance. That's the power shift most sellers never knew they could have. The fourth question usually comes before the offer is even written. The buyer's agent calls and says, "My buyer may need some closing help. Is your seller open to contributing?" Sounds harmless, but it's not, because if your agent starts saying yes or no too quickly, they are giving away money before they have even seen the full deal. And that makes no sense. A closing cost request by itself tells me nothing. I need to see the whole offer. Is the price strong? Are inspections limited or waived altogether? Is there buyer agent compensation? Are they closing fast? Did they build the concession into the price? You cannot evaluate one piece of the deal without looking at the whole package. A good agent knows the answer is not yes and it's not no. The answer is send the full offer and I'll review it with my seller. We'll take a look at everything. Because what matters is the seller's net, not one isolated request, and the strength of the offer, of course. Every concession is a negotiation, not a courtesy, not a favor, a negotiation, and your agent needs to treat it exactly that way. So here's what it comes down to. Your real estate agent's words are either protecting your equity or quietly giving it away in a 2-minute phone call. And most sellers never think to ask which one is happening. Before you hire an agent to represent you, ask them 3 direct questions. What do you say if a buyer asks why I'm moving? How do you handle the commission question? And how do you respond to closing cost credits? Listen carefully. If they stumble, hesitate, or give you a vague answer, that tells you everything. So ask yourself this: is your agent selling your house or selling your leverage? Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your answers in the comments below. If you're a real estate agent watching this, has a buyer's agent ever asked you one of these questions, and how did you handle it? And if you've been a home seller before, did you feel like your agent may have given away too much too soon? Tell me what happened. I read every single comment. If you're in Maryland, I'd love to help you protect every dollar of your sale. And if you're outside Maryland, I have a Find an Agent form in the description box below. Just fill it out and I'll personally reach out to you and connect you with a top agent in your area, a true pro who can handle these conversations the right way. Because I want to make sure that your agent's mouth is working for you, not against you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for more valuable home selling tips and advice. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.